Hi guys, welcome to the Tech Granth. Today I'm going to do the follow-up video of my previous one where I shared the tutorial on data structures for beginner stack, and in this video I'm going to show how you can build the stack data structure using arrays. So do like and share the video, subscribe to the channel to get further update. Let's jump in creating this stack data structure. So we'll create a class called stack, and first we need to figure out what all operations that we need to put as part of stack. So we have push, we have pop, we have peek, and we have is empty. So these are the four operations that uh, we are going to implement as part of the stack data structure creation. So let us first implement push operation. For stack, like if you remember what I told in my previous video, you can create stack data structure using array. Only thing is you need to keep a variable to keep track of the element that is getting added as part of the stack. So we'll create a variable called top, and initially we'll say its value is -1, and we are creating an integer stack here, means a stack of integers. So I will take an array which is also an integer, and we'll say we are creating a stack of length 500 for now. This can be varied later on to make it as integer dot max value or something like that, but for now let's create a stack of where we'll put 500 values. So we need to create push, so we'll say boolean push, and it will take an integer value which has to be added as part of my stack. So for this, what we can do is, once we have the value here, so we'll check if the value of top, if it is less than 500 or whatever value of array that I have defined. It means that this is the memory that is available for me in my JVM or whatever language you are using. So if it goes beyond this, then the memory exceeded and the stack will basically overflow. So I can keep adding element in my stack till the top value is less than 500. So I will say if while top is less than 500, I will do top plus plus, and my array of top, this will contain the value. So I used this top variable to give me the location. So the location of this top in my array, there I will store this value. So suppose in my stack, if my stack had, initially I had value 1, then 2, then I pushed 3, then I pushed 10, like this. So array of position 0 will contain 1, array of position 1 will contain 2, array of position 3 will contain 3, array of position, I'm sorry, it starts with 0, so 0, array 0 contains, so this will be array 0 will have this value, array 1 will have this value, array 2 will have this value, and array 3 will have this value. When I pushed 4 element, till now I have not popped anything from the array, so my top will be this. My top will have value 3, and at third position my actual value will be 10. So this is how this will be implemented, and I will say I was able to add value, so I will return true from here. Otherwise I will return false, because this is greater than or equal to 500, so I'm out of memory, so I'm not able to push element into my array, so I will say it's false. Okay, next we need to do the pop operation. So for pop, in case of pop, it will return some value back to the user, so I will say will return int, and in pop we need to make a check if top is greater than -1. So if pop is equals to -1, it means that the stack is empty because we started the top from -1. So as long as top is greater than -1, we have the value, we have some value in our stack. So if top is greater than -1, so what we can do is we can take a temp integer x which is equals to or we'll say it as 10. This is equals to array of top, and we can return this temp value. But before doing that, we need to make top minus minus. The reason being, suppose I added all these elements. Now top has value 3. Now from 3 I removed this value. Now if I have removed this value, so my top will point to this, my stack will not contain this value. Next time when I add some value to array 3, so that position will be replaced with whatever new value I add, but for now my top will be pointing to 2. So that is how this pop will be handled. Here I will say else return -1, which indicates that -1 might not be a correct thing to return, but we can say 0 or something like that, because if my stack does not have anything, then yeah, if I don't have anything, I will say -1. That's it. So I implemented these two. Next I need to do peak. So I will say private int peak. In case of peak also we return the topmost value, but in this case we don't remove the value from the stack. So I will do similar operation for peak. Only thing is I will not do top minus minus. The reason being, if I have array of 10 equal to array of 3 equal to 10 here, so if I have to do peak, so I will return this value, but I will not remove this value from my stack. So I just want to return 10 from here. So this will implement my peak function. And finally we have is empty. So private boolean is empty will be a boolean function, and I will say if top is equals to -1, if this is equals to -1, return true, otherwise you return false. So if the value is -1, it means it's empty, so you return true from here. If value is not equal to -1, then it means we have something in the top, and you don't return you return false from here. So that is how is empty will work. So it's very straightforward implementation. Let us try to add something in this stack function. So I will say stack stk equal to new stack. This I am doing because I am using Java. You can use any other programming language to implement this functionality. So if I say stack dot push, so let us push 1, and we'll push 1, and we need to print also. So how we can print, we can give some statement here that to show that what we are going to pop. For pop we can simply print the integer value. Just for push I will add print statement. So it will say pushing value into stack equals to, and the value will be this value. So if I run this, so it will just push this value 1 into the stack. So let us push few more values here. So we'll push 2, we'll push 3, and then we'll push 10 here, and then we will say stk dot peek, and then we'll say stk dot pop. So peek and pop here both should return the same value to me because I'm first peeking and then I'm doing the pop. So here I need to add, sorry, here I need to add this system.out, and I will add a comment peeking from stack, and I will add this element again. And for pop also I will do the same thing, popping from stack, and I will add the command to pop, and I will do one more peek so that we know that the last element was popped. So here when I add all these things, so this peak should return 10, then when I popped out 10, this peak should return 3. So let us see if it works like that. So that is how it peaked initially 10, then it popped out the value 10, and then again when we peaked it says that some value 3 is there. So if we say we need to test is empty also, so we'll say if while is empty, sorry, while stack dot is empty, so it means while stack is not empty. This condition I'm telling, till stack is not empty, I will say pop from stack, and here I will say okay stk dot pop. So this will pop out all the element, and finally I will say what is the status of stack, or rather how many elements now. So how many elements are present in stack now. So this will say stack dot is empty. So this will give me, if nothing is present, so this would be true. So let us run this program. So this is true. It popped out all the elements. First it pushed 1 2 3 10, then it popped out 10, it peaked here, then it popped 3, it popped 2, it popped 1, and finally when it says that how many elements, so it's true, it means that stack is empty. So that is how you implement the stack functionality using an array, and most of the programming language they use this. In place of array you can also use a linked list, but uh, using array is better because here you are able to get retrieve or get element in a constant time complexity. So that is why most of the time an array is used for stack. So that is how you implement stack. In my next video I am going to start with a tutorial on queue, and in the subsequent one I will also I will create a similar hands-on queue where I will show how queue will be implemented. So that is it for now. See you in the next video. Subscribe to the channel. Take care. Bye.